Okay, we're going to solve absolute value equations. So I'm going to do the odd numbers. Remember, you want to check these also. And the first ones, you just want to ask yourself, what numbers can I put in for x that's going to make this inequality true? Well, we know we can have x can equal 2 because the absolute value of 2 is 2, and x can equal negative 2. So when I substitute that one in, absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So to check them, you just substitute in. We're going to write ours as a solution set. So our solution set, that means we have two solutions. All right, number 3, absolute value of k equals 11. Well, k can either be negative 11 and 11. If I substitute each one of those in one at a time, then I will get 11. Number 5. I'm going to have the absolute value of 5z equals 40. Okay, notice the last two problems we had two answers. And think about this, absolute value can be that positive and that negative. Okay, all right, so we'll make two cases. So we'll say 5z, so you make one equal to a positive 40, and you set the other one up, to equal a negative 40. So you solve for z. Divide both sides, and z equals negative 8. Now, we're going to check these, and when you check these, you always substitute the answer into the original. So the original says 5 times 8, so 40. We know that one works, right? And then we're going to say 5 times negative 8 equals 40. Yeah, that looked kind of funny. So that would be negative 40. So that one's true. So our answer is z equals negative 8 and 8. All right, I'm going to work on number 7. So this time the absolute value of d plus 1 equals 8. So before we start making two cases, you always want to make sure that your absolute value is on one side, the constant's on the other. And that's what it is. Okay, they're both inside the absolute value bar. So we set it to d plus 1 equals 8 and d plus 1 equals negative 8. So let's solve for d. Okay, so let's check them. 7 plus 1 equals 8, and negative 9 plus 1 equals 8. If we balanced both of these, we would see this would be absolute value of 8 is 8. Both of them check. So D equals solution set, negative 9 and 7. All right, let's go on to number 9. So you have 4n plus 2 equals 34. This is all by itself on this side. This is over here, so we're going to make our two cases. One positive and one negative, so we can get that other answer. Oops. Okay, subtract 2. Divide by 4. 8. So subtract 2 here. That's a negative, don't forget. So you got 4n, negative 36. Divide both sides by 4. And n equals negative 9. Substitute in the original equation, so we're going to have 4 times 8 plus 2 equals 34. 32 plus 2. That one's going to work. And then we're going to take 4 times negative 9 plus 2 equals 34. This is negative 36 plus 2 equals 34. And that's going to work too. So our answers, our solutions are n equals negative 9 and 8. Which one did I just do? That was number 9. Let's go on to number 11. So we have c, absolute value of c plus 2 equals 12. Remember, I said before you make two cases, you have to have your absolute value on one side and the constants on the other. So let's fix that first before we make our two cases. So we have the absolute value of C equals 10. Make your two cases. If we make our two cases, we have a positive and a negative. So we know that C is going to equal negative 10 and 10. But let's check that. So see how it works. Okay, C equals, or absolute value of 10 plus 2 equals 12. And then the absolute value of negative 10 plus 2 equals 12. So I get 10 plus 2, that equals 12. That's 10 plus 2 equals 12. Okay? Let's go on to number 13. It says 6 times the absolute value of x is 24. Absolute value is not by itself, so we need to do that first before we make two cases. So we get the absolute value of x equals 4, and we know that the answer is going to be x equals negative 4 and 4. Remember, you check it. 6 times negative 4 equals 24, and 6 times a positive 4 equals 24. So you get 6 times the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, so that works. And then 6 times 4 is 24, so that works as well. That was number 13. I'm going to do number 15. 2w minus 4 plus 1 equals 9. Remember, this has to be by itself, so let's move this over first. So now we have 2w minus 4 equals 8. Okay, let's make two cases. So 2w minus 4 equals a positive 8, and 2w minus 4 equals a negative 8. Add 4. So we have 2w equals 12, and divide by 2, and w equals 6. That's 1. Add 4. So then we have 2w equals negative 4. Divide both sides by 2, and w equals negative 2. So we're going to say w equals negative 2 and 6, but I am going to check them just to make sure. And remember, it goes in the original. So the original says 2 times 6 minus 4 plus 1 is supposed to equal 9. I'm going to substitute the other one in so I don't forget. So I have 2 times negative 2 minus 4 plus 1 equals 9. So this is absolute value of 12 minus 4 plus 1 equals 9. Let's extend this. So 12 minus 4 is 8. That's going to work, right? All right, so now we have negative 4 minus 4. This is negative 8. And that's going to work too. Okay, we checked that one. All right, and I'm going to do 17. And then I'm done. 4n plus 8 minus 6 equals 106. Remember, this has to be by itself. Think about equations. You undo the addition and subtraction first, so let's move this over. So 7, 4n plus 8, that cancels, and that gives us 112. Now we need to get rid of the 7 before we make our two cases, so divide by 7 on both sides. So you get 4n plus 8, and 112 divided by 7 is 16. Now we can make our two cases because we have our absolute value on one side and our constant on the other. Okay, so we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Divide by 4. Subtract 8. Divide by 4. N equals negative 6. So we can say n equals negative 6 and 2, and we're going to check it. All right, so the original equation said 7 absolute value of 4 times 2 plus 8 minus 6 equals 106. And then the other one is 7 parentheses 4 times negative 6 plus 8 minus 6 equals 106. Okay, so we have 7 times 4 times 2 is 8 plus 8. So we get 7 times 16. So 7 times 16 minus 6 equals 106. 16 times 7 is 42. 112. That works. That one checks out. Let's do this one. 7 negative 24 plus 8 minus 6 equals 106. And 7 24 minus 8. 16 minus 6 equals 106. 7 times 16 we knew was 112 minus 6, and that one works too. Okay, so I want you to do all the evens, and I want you to make sure you check them, and I want them also written in a solution set, meaning this here. Okay, don't forget to study for your concept assessment tomorrow, and I'll see you in class. Oh, I have one more question. Let's see if anybody can figure this one out. What number can I put in for x and get that answer? Okay, so that's the other question too.